All right, happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to our first matches of Week 3 of the VRML preseason. On cameras and commentary, I'm Palidore, joined by the ever-regal SirDimwi, who's about to give us the rundown on the matchup we're about to see.
Yeah, tonight, this evening, we have a back-to-back featuring Toxic Units and Blast. Both teams are coming into this back-to-back series 3-1 with a tied MMR of 12-20. So I'm very excited to see how this works out here. Just go through the player list over on Toxic Units. We got Sir Dominic, who for a while the Europeans, every time I saw them, accused me of being a Sir Dominic Smurf, and it took me actually stating, do I sound like I have a European accent, for them to finally relent and admit, no, you are not, in fact, a Sir Dominic Smurf. So, like I said, Toxic Unix, we got Sir Dominic, Bad Internet, BTW, Marcel 1, and Taco on Thursday. Then over on Blast, we have Lone Gecko, Boop90, Finn, and Maddie. And every single one of the players in this game, all experienced, all have been around for a while, all of them are known, and yeah, this should be a healthy matchup here. I'm excited to see it, and this is our first, as far as I'm aware, our first back-to-back of the season in VRML Echo Arena history. So, kind of excited to see how it works out.
Yeah, same here. It's going to be interesting. It's actually going to be our first challenge match of the season, directly following this one. It's still between these two teams, Toxic Units and Blast. So this one right now that's being played is their weekly match. They're scheduled for that. But then they also did a challenge match on top of that. So that's just to clarify for those in chat. And speaking of, hello to those present. See there already, Danimal, Strembitsky, Single Shot Sendo. Good to see you guys. And Strem, also the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much.
Woo, woo, woo!
What he said. Strem giving back, despite the fact that he still never got his pizza. As far as I know, anyways. Now, it would seem, so are we doing 3v4? Or no, okay, there we go.
No,
so
there
Finn,
we go.
yeah, they made a comment in the chat, but no, Finn just got in, so I guess we're going to get ready to start pretty momentarily here. So,
and just right quick, just because we're still waiting a moment here, if anybody sees anything awesome or cool or exciting during the game, feel free to, you're heavily encouraged to go ahead and clip that, publish it, and share it around. It's something we want to see more and more here of those clips being shared around of the awesome things that are happening in these games.
yeah, you can actually like input the highlights from your Twitch games on the match pages of your game on the VRML website. So that's going to work out nicely if anyone wants to do highlight videos, compile, stuff for media, things like that. Or if you just want to have memories of like, hey, this was a really great play I have, you can stick it in that VRML match page and it'll be there forever and ever. So now it's going to be the launch off in this first round, getting started right quick, and boop. Finding that clear into the tunnel, going to be taken there and actually take a bounce. So now the stacks looking for each other on that approach. And off it goes into the hands of Maddie. Maddie's going to lose a disc loosely over to that goal area. And now it's going to be taken over by Boop again. So spreading out on the floor, looking for that first pass. Gecko not online for that one. Bad Internet's going to get that intercept. Going to find that clear. And now the boost once more all the way up and down the floor where it's taken by Taco. Looking for a shot, but off.
Yeah, Blast really, or Toxic Units, their bubble defense have been shutting down Blast. Blast had 2 offensive attacks now, going for their 3rd here, but each time Toxic Units able to shut them down.
Now trying to shut them down in the goal for the first one. Gecko starting where he left off in the last game we saw on Sunday. Blast playing a couple matches, and Gecko was the highest scorer for his team, putting him up in bunches. Had near 20-some points from what I recall.
Yeah, a heads-up play by Gecko. I mean, looked like Toxic Units might have created a little bit of their own traffic in front of the goal, or rather behind the goal, helping Gecko get that one in there.
Now the stack is going to be pressuring there, and we're trying to return a pass over to Marcel. Now pass to Bad Internet, gets it stolen though. Finn with a defensive awareness there. The stack quickly, Gecko getting a leech. SirDimwi is there first, but Boop is there, and then Finn was going to take that. Ooh, just no momentum, though, so can't make that. It's going to be a turnover to the hands of the... Oop, no, actually right back to Boop. I lied. So Toxic Units turnover there just as well, and now it would seem that Blast has another chance at this one.
And the speed of Blast chain has been what's kind of keeping them from having to play too much defense in this. Most of the clears have been able to get back on quicker than Toxic Units so far, except right now.
Oop, but cannot make that one, so the disc is actually going to sail back. But nice little dunk back to Taco on Thursday, assisted by Marcel.
And a heads-up shot by Marcel. I'm not sure if it was intended as a pass or a shot, but the goalie was out. So either way, it was a good call on his part. And then obviously Taco Tuesday just putting it the rest of the way in there for an easy 2.
All tied up in a few minutes into this match, and off to that left tunnel pass where the stack awaits. Actually causes the turnover, but now right back into the hands of Boop. Boop's going to look for that bounce pass, but it's cut off nicely by bad internet there. Gets the clear, and down the court, it's going to be taken back by Lone Gecko, and you can see the stack here in the back line as well for Blast trying to get back. The long pass over to Boop, just missing. Maybe a little too long on that one. So another turnover.
Yeah, Toxic Unit's doing a really good job of forcing a lot of turnovers, even though some of them are getting back into the hands of Blast. They've been doing a really good job making this really difficult for Blast to get it actually around and into the bubble.
Now another long pass, tap pass to Gecko. That was nicely done. He's going to back that out there as Marcel 1 gets on the defensive approach, but snagged out of the hands of Maddie into SirDimwi's hands now, and he's going to find it. Quick stack, though, over there on the other end. The overshoot, though, might result in an open 3. It will be for SirDimwi. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was just a great shot by SirDimwi. Toxic Units just maintaining their aggressive posture here, going after, chasing every clear, every disc, doing what they can to stuff it in. Good play by Toxic.
Launching out, Gecko. Very quick pass. That's actually going to be stunned on the other end. Boop. So Taco retrieving that one. Very quick on the rollout there. And now maybe another open 3, but Gecko the save. So denying what was almost a bad turnaround. That would have been some huge momentum there for Toxic Units. They're already up by 3. Now that almost had a chance of going in there. It's going to be contested heavily. And retrieved on the other end by SirDimwi again, who clears it down. But Gecko in that tunnel, in that tube, looking for that long distance pass to Finn. And another long one to Maddie. So Maddie's going to work that one in, try and dodge the defense, back it on out, and see what they can do here. Seems like a lot of long passes are coming in from Blast right now. And it's caused them some turnovers at times.
A lot of long passes, but also a lot of space here. Only 5 minutes into this first game, both teams are already almost at 30 stuns. And from what I can hear, they're probably already over 30 stuns apiece. Very aggressive game here from both teams.
For sure. And now bad internet. Well, 4.5 left. Another score for Dominic off the assist from bad internet. And now it's 7-2. And it's 5 points for Dominic as well as 2 for Taco on Thursday right now. A little bit of a slow start for Blast, it would seem.
Yeah, great play there by Toxic Units. Just bad internet crossing over to the man sitting on Nest. Marcel there and or excuse me, SirDimwi, and he's putting it in, you know, that one-on-one in the 2 range.
The bad internet's gonna take that right back for Toxic and get it to Taco, who finds the intercept. Actually, Gecko's gonna get that to Boop. Boop looking for the lane, but recognizes the defense, so now they're gonna collect themselves here. A little under 4 minutes now, still a lot of time. It's gonna be a pass on over to Maddie, dishing it to Finn. Finn's gonna go on in for a nice dunk, dipping from the top into the center of the goal with that one. And 3-point game.
Great play by Blast there, just taking their time, being patient with it, controlling the clock, controlling the disc, controlled passes, all very accurate passes, and just waiting till they had the opportunity to get it in.
Yeah, much better collection there, just looking good on the offense. And here, maybe another turnover, so this could be a tied situation. If that 3 is made, it is not. That could have been huge for Blast, but they still have 3 minutes to work with it. Now, in some of these recent games, we've also seen Blast. They have come out with some slow starts at times, but usually given a few minutes, and especially by the second round, they're usually looking pretty well oiled again. So cannot count them out quite yet, despite the slow start, and they're only down by 3, so a lot of time to work with.
Absolutely, and I fully expect Blast to this game isn't going to end up too lopsided on the scoreboard either direction, and particularly if you look at possession. Oh my! What a goal by Finn there.
Assisted by Boop, and there you go, 1 point game. Now that said, Toxic Units have been doing a great job so far of capitalizing just on every opportunity. Gotten themselves some nice turnovers, created those turnovers based on some good defense, some good man marking on those long passes as well. They're doing all they can to stay in this one as Blast brings it within 1. And now, though, Boop, a turnover, and that was a deep shot, almost on line for them. Will not be, though. SirDimwi finding that clear. Not able to get that one through either. Boop is going to receive that one. He's gotten a lot of those loose discs. That one coming right back, though, into that back line where it's sent into the mid area, and Finn's there for the almost recollection after a little bit of maneuvering.
And despite the scoreboard, and even when there was still that 3-goal or 3-point plus differential, minute advantage to a possession for Blast here. So really showing their control of the disc, but also, I mean, that's kind of a testament to Toxic Units' defensive play, holding off Blast.
Now maybe a 2-pointer it will be. That's going to be a big one because now at best, Blast has a minute and a half to tie it. They cannot win off one more goal. So either a quick 2 here is what we need to see from Blast, or if they can't get anything working up pretty fast, they need to start considering those 3s in those last 30 seconds, 45 seconds or so.
And what a surprisingly good shot there on goal. The goalie in the net looked like it was covered. He was kind of floating out in space, and so shooter took the shot and got it in just that little space he had to work with. Good shot.
Now it's going to be off again here. Eventually taken by Maddie. He's going to tap that out to Gecko. Still 50 seconds left. They don't need a 3, but it would help. The 2, though, is going to help their case nonetheless. 47 seconds left. That's plenty of time for them to come up with some good defense to come back. But in the meantime, if you're on Toxic Units, obviously, you're just trying to maintain control of this disc. If you can get another shot, great. But priority number 1, find some good passes. Do not force these long-range ones that turn into long clears and turnovers.
Yeah, it looks like Toxic Units content with just running the clock, just taking their time with it, and just moving it in as safely and in control as they can. Unfortunately, turning it over right there to Finn with 13 seconds left.
And so there's still a chance. A nice boost coming in the back line there for Blast. They're going to get this one and maybe dish it in for the win. Absolutely lone Gecko at the last second. Oh, that is a heartbreaker for Toxic Units. And relief for Blast after their slow start. Coming back with some ferocity there to take it very late into that first round.
And nice goal there by Gecko. He didn't, not letting any variability, any chance that thing wasn't going to go in, just goes for that dunk. I don't think he was even looking at the goal when he did it, but knowing that he was holding onto that rim and it was just turning his stick, turning his body, putting it in himself. It was a great goal by Gecko.
Yeah, just fantastic. Again, I think it was Boop there in the tunnel. At first, Finn creating a turnover, and then on the other end, Boop getting the disc. But the stack was so important there, and Gecko was the one able to get that. But without that stack, working their way towards that front line with less than 10 seconds left, that play would not have happened. So that was extremely well done and well executed by them to come back and take that first round impressively.
And Blast really showing their patience here in this game. I mean, now that possession differential has moved to a full minute and a half. Minute 29 seconds, but still, it's this, a 1-point game, but with a minute and a half differential on possession really shows how patient Blast has been with that disc.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8.
All right, as we get set here in this second round now, we'll see how Toxic Units react to that, and if they can come back with some fire here themselves as we get started on round 2. It's going to be Boop taking that one, and a quick shot. Building upon the foundation they just set in that first round with a quick 3 off the jets of that launch.
And I'm not sure what happened there because the goalie was on the rim, but it looked like he might have lost one of his hands, and I was concerned for that in that moment. Unfortunately, just that half a second gave them enough time to get that 3-pointer.
And now a careful rollout here is going to be taken by SirDimwi. Dominic getting a nice stun up there on Boop, it looked like, and finding the bottom ramp pass to Taco. But stolen. So that's going to be a lined up soft 3. We see that from Gecko a lot there. He is fully capable of hitting those really quick shots if he needs to, but as Tutorial Bot mentioned in our last cast, if he knows he has some time to line that up, he'll gladly take a bit of a slower shot just to ensure that it's as accurate as he can get it.
And I do remember the last time I casted a Blast game, Gecko just putting those 10-meter-per-second shots, and some of them only moving at 5 meters a second by the time they got to the goal plane. But great shot by Gecko.
Yeah, but he also took a bunch of shots in that series versus Smash Dash, for instance, as the tap out from Taco goes out to the outer bubble. But Gecko also took some shots that he had to shoot it quick, and he did, and he made them. Even one from half-court area. There was one from a bottom corner. So when he needs to shoot it really fast, he actually can, and he's accurate.
Oh, absolutely. I'm pretty sure he had one earlier in the series in Game 1. Was under pressure, didn't have much time, and put it in real quick from deep out, and was also a good goal.
Yeah, and I'm kind of the same general mentality there as the shot goes out, and oh wow, Taco on Thursday. How about that one?
I mean, 8-ball corner pocket, bottom corner pocket. I mean, that was a masterful shot. I mean, at this point, we might want to start talking about intention versus expectation. You know, he intended to put that one in, but was he expecting it? I don't know. He might be as excited about that one as we are.
I wasn't expecting it. That is a very, very tough angle to hit, that bottom backboard. And now a quick launch, almost resulting in another tough shot down there off the quick release, but the great stack from Toxic Units is going to intercept that instead, fling it down the mid area, and now 3 of them on the attack, and now finally retreating into goal for defense. Finn there, as well as Gecko and Maddie, as Boop tries to roam around and pressure these passes. Now off to Dominic, but almost saved by Gecko. Dominic getting the score on that one.
And Toxic there showing some patience of their own, you know, making sure their passes are clean, accurate, to the open man, and somehow that that cross pass looked like it drew the goalie out, which allowed for an open goal shot. Gecko getting back to make the save, but unfortunately not able to stop his own momentum putting it in.
Now a steal. Not online on the shot. The goal is still a bit open, so maybe a chance. Boop is going to retreat into there. Now looking for a nest pass. A little bit off on the other side. It's going to be tapped on over back to Marcel. And Marcel backing it down to the floor. So again, a 1-point game. This has been a competitive match so far. And maybe now Toxic Units with some momentum perhaps as they go bottoms onto the top. But it just dings a few times, just bouncing off over and over in those goalposts, and now the fast stack here might punish them for that because no, it's just another ding. Wow, miss opportunities.
It was a great opportunity by Toxic down there. They really took their time, and that was
bad internet. The save there as well. It's hard. See, I've said this before. It's hard to almost go into too deep into analysis, isn't it? Because these teams are so fast that before you're even finished talking, they made another great play.
Exactly. Yeah. This is these are 2 very, very quick teams.
So in that corner pocket, a little bit of a pile up of players there, getting the pass off, but nicely cut off by Maddie, marking the Toxic Unit player there. And now forcing a turnover. Some boost coming through. It's going to be taken first there by Dominic. Dominic's going to look for get punched actually. Marcel's there for a tap out into the mid area, and that's where Finn is with Maddie.
And again, just to point out the aggressive nature of this game, both teams pushing 70 and 80 goal or 70 and 80 stuns so far with still 5 minutes left in the second game.
Now Boop is going to be on the approach, dodging around, finding Finn. Nicely done, but great save there from Taco. Gets the clear, and now a short boost coming in from some of these players with longer ones to follow, surely. But in the back line instead, it's going to be, taken right back by bad internet. He has an angle at it, and he's just going to get that easy dunk to go ahead in the last half of the second round, 7-6.
just seeing more of that aggressive game. There was a little fight there on the wall for that disc, and unfortunately for Blast, Toxic Units picking it up and getting enough time to just walk it in, probably due to some stuns in the backfield as well.
And Strem asking in chat what went on with the first round, and it was a game winner with a few seconds left by Lone Gecko at the end. They won by 1 point.
Coming back from being down, I'm pretty sure as well.
Yep. It was an exciting finish for sure. Right now, up by 1 point, though, is Toxic Units, but the chance to change that with this one, it's going to be Blast. Gecko receiving that one, and you can see the nice spreading on the floor there by Blast members. Ooh, but maybe not paying enough attention to the defense of Bad Internet. It's going to be a deep clear. Gecko is going to be there with some time to spare. A unit from Toxic Units not far behind.
And you can see it all throughout this game. Both teams respecting the ability of the other team's chains. And in saying that, I mean, that both of them trying to stun out each other's chains before they have enough time to... Oh, man.
It's a good pass there from Marcel to Dominic. One of the Blast defenders had dove on that, but it was a little bit too mistimed. Just barely, because he was on that disc, but... the pass still got through, and that enabled the shot from that bottom slot for Dominic. And now going up by 3, so Gecko, the quick rollout for Blast. Quick tap out to Maddie, that was nice. But the coordination from Marcel and Sir Dominic getting on that attack. Unable to find anything but another intercept, however, into Gecko's hands, who tries to look for Maddie up top. Unsuccessfully, though.
It's still such a punchy game. I mean, you can hear these stuns going on, even if it's not in shot. You can hear the stuns going off probably once every 5 seconds or so. It's this is exciting stuff here.
Ooh, a shot,
man.
Sir Dominic, going for that bouncer, the boop as it's been known, and that's going to be a 12-6 advantage now for Toxic Units. However, not too different from what we saw in that first round, where this is still comebackable time for Blast, but as we get later into this, it's going to be tougher. It might be going to round 3 for the decider.
With that shot, that's Sir Dominic has points high in this series so far, 10.
And he's playing a very nice offensive game so far tonight, and well, Boop is going to have that now. Look for the quick shot. Oh, and dunked in by Finn. So maybe going for the 3 because of the goalie, but just given the timing of that, Finn going for the insurance on that one to make sure it wasn't saved, because they have had a couple saves near that goal already. So indeed, not a bad idea to guarantee that long shot went in.
And surprisingly, Boop had a few pass options there when he passed that up to Finn, or maybe going for that shot, as you said.
Oh, but the intercept actually is going to be a 3-point from deep. That was a huge one for Boop, and there you go. 1-point game again, less than 2 minutes. This is starting to turn into a repeat of what we just saw about 10 minutes ago.
And I really hope somebody's clipping a lot of these shots, because there have been some amazing goals in this game so far. So, guys, get on that. If you're seeing something awesome, clip that out, publish it.
Absolutely. Again, you can put those on the match pages for VRML on the website, and it'll show up there for all to see. Now, Bad Internet BTW looking for that. He had maybe an open angle, but nice defensive awareness from Finn, just going in for that last-second swoop. And now it's going to be off to Maddie. Maddie has a pass to Gecko. Gecko will have an open goal if he plays this right. Defense trying to get back, but takes a bad bounce off the island, and maybe recovered there. Looks like by Taco, indeed. So 1-point lead still. But hanging on by a thread is Toxic Units trying to get back on the defense, back on the offense, and putting it in there to close the fence on this round, perhaps, with a 4-point lead now and only 40 seconds to spare.
And it's going to be under 30 seconds by the time they get this launch. But that right there was, you saw Toxic Units take advantage of their defense stunning out the chain of Blast, so Blast didn't have enough time to get back there to stop that goal.
Oh, and now missing the disc. A little bit of miscommunication there. The double stack hanging out and then going down low for that last, I suppose, icing on that round 2. It's going to be 17-11 in favor of Toxic Units in round 2. So indeed, it will be going to round 3 here to decide the winner of this first series.
And big win here by Toxic to force the game 3. That means something. And I think what we're seeing so far means we're going to have another 4 rounds of great Echo Arena to look forward to here.
Absolutely. Very nice return in that second round for Toxic Units. You know, when it comes to those things where you get scored on last second, game winner kind of thing, like what happened to Toxic Units in round 1, those are the ones that can be really deflating on the mentality, right? And the fact that they were able to come back, Toxic Units, in the second round, and come back at full strength, not look any kinds of tilted despite the disappointing first round loss, and then come back and take that second one, that shows some good fortitude and just concentration to stay true to their games and their game plan.
And they definitely picked it up in that second round there. That minute-and-a-half possession time differential dropped to 45 seconds. So that says that that Toxic Unix here had a 45-second differential on Blast for possession in that round. But also, speaking of the team stats, you've got 100 stuns going to Toxic Unit, 93 going to Blast, game high 40 stuns going to Marcel. This is a very punchy game, and
Yep.
we're seeing that flesh out in the stats for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So now it's going to go to the third round, and it's going to be very interesting. Dimwi.
It is. This is going to be this should be one exciting third round we're getting here. And
Okay.
so launch and we're off.
Off we are, and let's see what happens. The last time Blast won the joust and scored quickly off of it, maybe in position to do just the same, but no, Finn is going to get stunned out. So back into the tunnel. Going to be intercepted there by Maddie, though. He's going to back it to Boop. Boop finding that long pass and actually manages to squeeze just through. Beautiful one to Maddie as well. Trying to deliver it to Gecko, but unable to collect that disc. Luckily, though, Maddie is there with the stuns. He's someone who's often going for those punches or blasts. But now going into that corner pocket really quickly off the stack is SirDimwi and Bad Internet for Toxic.
If you saw Blast keenly aware of the aggressive defense Toxic, oh no.
And that
what
will
a shot
be
by Marcel.
the speed right there from Toxic Units, going basically from their goal into one corner pocket to the other pocket, right to the goal then for the shot, just zigzagging their way to victory on that particular point.
And Blast, I mean, they were playing the game that they're good at, the patient passing. As I was saying, the aggressive defense by Toxic Units had Blast doing a lot of slap passes, it looked like, going back and forth. And I think that's what encouraged the turnover and then ultimately that goal.
Yeah, we actually have a dropout. Looks like Gecko is currently out of commission, just dropped out a second ago. Now, Toxic Units maybe want to take advantage of this if they can. Going for another bounce shot. Is it going to be in? No, barely missing that one.
So close.
So Maddie will be there on the attack, trying to get that one to Finn. Finn crossing it on over to Boop. Boop's going to receive that pass as the defense retreats and returns a pass to Finn over down the ramp. Finn's checking behind her. Has an opportunity, but there's a lot of defense at goal right now, and they are already a man down. Finn's going to look for a bouncer, but oh, Boop getting stunned here. So the bounce pass attempt, but Boop's going to recollect, hand it off to Finn. Finn shields herself. Finn gets stunned now. Out to the back line. Another stack coming. Nice leech, though, from Maddie. Is going to force us back into the other side. And Boop with a long shot. That was fantastic from Boop. Great defense from Maddie in the midline. Just bothering the stack. Boop right there, running the interference at the mid and then finding that clutch shot. That was great, especially being down a player at the moment. And there you have it. So we will have a restart. I hope the teams took note of the times, because I certainly didn't. But
it was around 7:40, but I didn't actually see the exact time.
Yeah. Okay, so brief intermission.
Group saying fourth teammate, we don't need a fourth teammate. We're gonna do this anyways. That was such a great shot by Boop, and just great play by Blast. I mean, you know, it's at this level, being down a man can be such. I mean, that's almost a guaranteed, you know, goal against yourself. But they just saying, no, we're not like everybody else. It's we're gonna score a goal just on even just on principle.
Yeah, it was. They played that pretty much the best way they possibly could have. Usually in those 4v3 or anytime you're a man down, it's awfully difficult in Echo Arena, especially just because of how important that extra person is in 4v4 and how important those stacks are. And when you're down a player, you can't really get those with the same efficiency or frequency. So the fact that they managed to play defense that well and turned it into some great offense as well, very impressive for Blast.
And not just a statement to their just their raw ability, but also to their mental state. Just being able to stay calm and stay collected and stay patient. I mean, they didn't rush any of those passes. They held on a little bit when they could, only passed when they needed to, and yeah, it definitely paid off for them.
Now just waiting here to hopefully get Gecko back in shortly. And yeah, that is correct in the chat. There's Gecko. That is correct. If someone crashes, mid thing, it'll be played till the next round, and the team who lost the player can opt for that restart, little 5-minute timeout type situation. But yeah, fortunately too, it's not quite as even in those situations anyways compared to the old formats and things. With the longer games and more players, it's not quite as punishing being scored on. Like a single 3 isn't as devastating as it once was at the very least.
That's true. This is very true. You got the longer game, even with the running clock, it still leaves you a lot of time. And then with generally fewer goals being scored, although I'm not sure that's true. I think that was the belief going in that would be the case. But maybe fewer scores per minute, giving you more time to work with as well.
And now we're just going to get restarted here with a tied up game, 3-3, and 7.5 left. This is the third game in this series, a third round. Game 1 taken at the buzzer by Gecko. And then the second one taken pretty nicely by Toxic Units. Much bigger advantage on that one. And so now it's kind of evened up, but maybe changing their luck. Nope. It's a second shot we've seen that kind of sails right on past, but on the rebound attempt, SirDimwi gets the second chance points.
And great goal by SirDimwi. I mean, he was surrounded by 3 players there, 2 out in space, 1 in the goal, and he was able to find just that perfect lane between all the defensemen to get it in there for that too. It was a great goal by SirDimwi, just showing his continued offensive dominance in this game.
Absolutely. And now off to the quick pass. Maddie is going to take a bad bounce, though, so Taco's going to receive that and fling that back to Gecko. Get that pass to Boop now. Boop's going to be contested. Finds Finn. Finn's going for one more pass. Nicely done. Assisted. And Boop completing the play.
And I think we can call that a proper one-timer there by Boop. Got that pass over to Finn, and then just slow-boated to the crease right in front of the goal. And once he got that, wasted no time, just slapped it right in. Good goal.
Also, Strem clarifying some of the rules. So I believe there's timeouts and crashing issues, I believe, are separate. Don't quote me on that, granted. I'm not a referee, just a caster, but I'm fairly certain, like the timeout, you can take that for any reason for 5 minutes. I think tech breaks work slightly differently, though, like if there's crashes, but perhaps not. In any case, we're going to go back, and now Gecko's actually going to take that back. Chance to go ahead by 3. Soft shot, a little bit too off the mark. Diagonal there, but slapped back in by Maddie off the nice recollect. Getting to the front line.
What a phenomenal play by Maddie. I mean, under pressure there and really no time to work with. Put the shield up, stun the attacker with the shield, and then just slaps it in for that 3. That was an amazing goal, to be honest.
And now, oh no, missing the disc though. We've seen this happen before, but it was on the other side of the floor. But this time, Blast is going to take advantage of that one.
And I think this is the first time in this series we've seen Blast up by 6 points or more yet. And interested to see how Toxic Units respond to it.
And that happened to Blast towards the end of the second round, and that time happening there in a unfortunate fashion over to Toxic Units. They still have under 5 minutes left, 4:45 to be precise, and You know, it's plenty of time to make something happen here as Bad Internet works it in for maybe one cross pass off the wall, actually. It's going to float on to Sir Dominic. Dominic is going to have it stolen, and now we can see the stacks forming quickly. And it looks like some momentum down the floor. Maddie looking for some more on the scoreboard. Finds that soft pass to Boop, sails past him, but now resetting wisely out to the back line. Gecko just overshooting a bit, though, and it's going to be contested there by Dominic.
That was an interesting defensive joust setup there by Blast, sending 3 men out, one to attack the QB, and then the other 2 to hold up with the defensive chain, which I think paid off for them as they forced that turnover and are now on the attack.
And now Gecko's going to be on the attack for another points on his back. They're starting to heat up here and indeed finding themselves on Blast in possession of the biggest lead they've had this whole series, I do believe. Like you mentioned, and 3:45 left. They got to be feeling pretty decent about themselves, but they know they still have to finish this one out.
That was a great goal by Gecko as he came in, went with the full arc from the bottom all the way to the top, and then hesitated, which I believe helped freeze the goalie a little bit, maybe brought him out into space and gave Gecko enough space to put it in.
So now Gecko and Boop will find themselves in the tunnel, contested, passing it off to Boop. Boop's going to be contested just as well, so more long passes. Some of these have been kind of tough for Blast. I think they're almost spaced out too far because some of these passes are just taking a lot of bounces off. They do find themselves in a good situation here in this third round, but I think if there's one thing that's been tough for Blast is just the length of their passes because they've made it a bit easier for Toxic units to recollect those. But nice pass there. It's going to be dinged off the corner post, and now back into the hands of Toxic units, if only for a few seconds, as that deep clear, maybe it turning into a shot actually, goes through. So on the bottom outside that bubble, collected there by Bad Internet, he's going to find the back pass to Taco. Taco delivering it right back to Sir Dominic. One more cross, but now cut off nicely there by Maddie.
Ooh, dangerous cross pass across the bubble there, going to the far man, but with the defender on shield. That's a dangerous one to make.
And now, furthering their lead, pulling ahead late. It's Gecko again with some back-to-back goals that time off the oop shot. Just missing, so Gecko is there for the second chance. And finding himself just in the, 5 minutes since he crashed alone with 8 points. And another one of those overshoots, actually. 2, in fact, but finally collected there by Boop. That disc, someone must have oiled it up today or something.
You gotta wonder if Toxic units are starting to get into their own head, finding themselves a little bit behind for the first time in this series, and making some real simple mistakes. But the benefit to that is those simple mistakes tend to be a lot easier to clean up than the more complex ones.
Yeah, and they still have, just a reminder too, another head-to-head match as they go head-to-head for the one-on-one, and Sir Dominic getting it done off the assist from Marcel 1. They'll still have another match after this, another full series, because this one that we're casting right now, this is their scheduled weekly match, but Blast and Toxic units also have a challenge match that is, well, directly following this one. So we're still going to see these teams go head-to-head for 3 more rounds following this one.
And I'd say because of that, Blast probably doesn't want to let up at all, because even if they win this one, if they allow Toxic units to pick up some momentum, that might carry over into the first game of the next series and not work out so well for them.
And that one just off the post, but still rebounded. One more pass attempt to Boop. Boop's going to back it out now to Gecko. Just trying to position out here, taking position now at Nest. Gecko going in, looking for Maddie, but the pass again a bit offline. Still going to be taken one more time and delivered out to Boop with 24 seconds left. Maybe looking for the last shot of this round if they can help it. Gecko's going to go in, and he's going to move to the side and get inside that goal for the 2.
And that, I believe, yeah, that's going to be exactly the game there. The countdown lining up with the clock. So good game by Blast to come back and take this series.
Yeah, just very good round, third round especially, building, their momentum after, which was also kind of a tougher loss in that second one for them, and just doing it in good fashion. Now, that will be this round, but again, we're coming back for another series really quick. Gecko just dominating ever since that crash, comes back, and 10 quick points on the board. And you can see some of those stats at play there. But that was still fantastic all around. I mean, those first 2 rounds from Toxic Units were just amazing.
They definitely were. I mean, that was some great play we saw in those first 2 games.
Yeah.
And a lot of back and forth, a lot of stunning. I wish we could see the stun totals on that series. I unfortunately missed them, but
Yeah.
I mean, after we were at 100, I believe, on it for each team after game 2. So game 3 was probably pushing 130, 140, 150 even.
Yeah.
Possibly.
A lot of stunts for sure. Now, teams, I believe they're switching colors, and in the meantime, so we're gonna just briefly end this cast just to keep the VODs organized, so we can do 1 match at a time. So, quickly rolling the credits, and we'll be back in a minute for the second series between these 2 teams.